Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number, 291. So, shit. Something bad has happened to Tiege Hanley, and I'm going to talk about it today, and it has to do with our serum. We've run out, and it's bad in terms of the implications to our business. It sucks. It sucks on so many levels. And it's embarrassing, and it makes me super angry that this happened. But it happened. And so, unfortunately, you can't control everything in your business. And so today I want to tell you kind of like what went down, why we ran out of one of our core products, and when we're expecting it back, and how we handled the situation. Because it is not just like oops, sorry. It's from a customer service standpoint, it is a nightmare to handle this situation, because we got lots of customers that use level 3 Tiege systems, and it's like super it's super annoying. And by super annoying, that would be an understatement of the year. All right, so after I tell you this little story, actually before I get into that, let me tell you what I did last weekend. I went and traveled for the first time in like a year and a half. I took a trip to Austin, Texas to hang out with Eric Banholtz, Ryan Masters, and Antonio Centeno for the weekend. And you know what we did? Nothing. We literally walked around Austin for 2 days, went and ate, and just hung out and And it was good for the soul. It really was amazing. The thing that was so weird though was, because I haven't traveled in like a year and a half, I almost like forgot how to travel a little bit. I'm like, okay, do I have everything? And then where do I go? And parking. And so everything went smoothly. And but things did change. The Atlanta airport has changed. Like where like you board for like Sky Priority, that changed. But it was great. It was amazing just to travel. It was great to see friends and just interact and just hang out. And it was amazing. It literally was awesome. The downside is I got a cold. Like seriously, I got a cold. And I think that it might be because I got run down the week prior, because I was in the emergency room with my wife's mother, and we didn't sleep for 48 hours, and I was run down, and then I don't know why, but I have a cold, and you know what? It's fine. It was worth it. But I'm feeling better, and so now what I want to do, guys, is actually talk about this disaster, which makes me feel bad. And that is us running out of our serum. So the way that this all works, okay, it wasn't that we weren't prepared. It wasn't that we didn't like think about like ordering and doing a purchase order. So we switched labs, okay? So one of the things with Tiege Hanley is we've gone through like different labs, in terms of who's actually manufacturing our products. Well, we switched labs to a new lab, and we had an order made of the serum. Well, literally 5 people, 5 out of, tens of thousands and thousands of customers, 5 people reported that the serum was a different viscosity. They're like, it's a little bit thinner, and it has like a little bit of a smell. We were like, oh, we don't really notice it. But I was like, all right, let me, no, looks, smells, look, no. Seems fine to me, but 5 people. So we're like, okay, is this an issue? When we had the fishy moisturizer issue, for those of you who've been around for a while, that was more than 5. That was like a lot of people being like, yo, it smells fishy. And then we smelled it and we're like, okay, it does smell a little bit fishy. Just to catch you guys up to speed, that was a disaster, right? Because we actually pulled a lot of the PM moisturizer, which literally is in every order. And the problem is that we got a batch of marine collagen, one of the ingredients in the product, that actually had like a little fishy smell. It wasn't bad or anything like that, but it had a little bit of an odor. It's marine collagen. We're talking about in the sea, so what's it gonna smell like? Gonna smell a little fishy. That was a disaster. Anyway, I digress. Actually, I'm not digressing. I'm sort of painting the picture of, things do happen, and occasionally there are issues. And so when we had 5 people say the consistency is a little bit different, it smells a little bit different, what's going on? Knowing that we switched labs, we went to them and said, hey, this is the report, this is what we're doing, what do we do? And they said, okay, no problem. Great, thanks for bringing it to our attention. Let's do an analysis. And so they analyzed our products. they did a pH balance and test, and they did whatever they do. I'm not a chemist. I don't understand exactly what they did, but they came back and said, all right, the pH is slightly high. We need to possibly remove a little bit of the vitamin, I think it was vitamin A. And not that it was bad, but this is something that we could possibly tweak based on the original formula. And so we're like, okay, cool. And so when they tweaked that, you know, we actually put a purchase order in back, I believe, and I could be getting this a little bit wrong. Essentially, we put a purchase order in back in February for more serum, right? And so, but during the time they were doing this test, well, the test was supposed to take 2 weeks. Well, guess how long it took? 6 weeks for them to come back with their analysis. And then they're like, okay, 6 weeks, no big deal. We're still cool. We still have time. We still have enough inventory. And they put it into the system. Well, when they put it into the system, it looked like a different order. And so they got to the point where they're like, okay, let's run this. Uh-oh, we don't have all the ingredients we need. Say that again. You don't have all the ingredients that we need to make this product that is in like a lot of boxes. And we placed this purchase order literally months ago. You don't have the ingredients. Awesome. So what does that mean? When are we going to get it? Guess what? Yeah, exactly. Everything takes longer these days after, like, in a post-COVID world in terms of sourcing ingredients. And so we ran out. We literally ran out of the serum for our level 3 system members. Also people that were adding, you know, the serum to their orders. We ran out. And so what do? Well, first thing we did, we took it off of our website. So now if you go to tiege.com, there are only 2 levels. Well, actually, there are more levels. There's acne, but normally you would see level 1, level 2. Now there's a space where level 3 used to be. We've stopped selling it. Now that satisfies people that are potentially going to buy, right? Okay, no big deal. You don't sell it. What about the people, the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that is their system, that is their subscription? From day one, I said to Kelly, I said, the one thing that we can never do, ever do, is run out of product. Because the moment you run out of product, you screw somebody's system up, their routine, they're used to getting it, that would be like the biggest disaster for Tiege Hanley, or one of the biggest disasters. And we did it. And we ran out. And so, how do we handle this? From a customer service standpoint, all these people, we basically refunded $10 to each of them. We're like, all right, we can't give you a level 3. We're going to send you a level 2. We're going to refund you $10. So manually, we have to go in and refund each and every customer $10. We also threw in a free lip balm. Hey, thanks. We threw in a free lip balm just to say sorry. And we also said, hey, as soon as it gets it, we'll have it in by your next shipment kind of thing. Like, it's coming in, like, I think a week. And so we also said, hey, if you're interested, if you want to know exactly like the moment it gets in-house, because it's not just about manufacturing it. It's also, it has to go through like a new like microbial testing, which takes time. And it's not as simple as get the ingredients, formulate it, send it to Tiege. It's got to go through like a process. And so it takes longer than you would think it would take in order to manufacture a high quality skincare product like the serum. And so we also said to people, hey, if you want to be notified as soon as it comes in, let us know and we will send you an email. Well, we've got like, I don't know exactly how many, but last count it was like thousands of people that are like, we want to know exactly when it is. And then we will charge people $10. Shipping will be on us and we'll send you your serum. So think about all of the money. Like, let's talk a little bit about money. As an entrepreneur, let's think about how this money flow is happening. So all these people, we were making $10 more per box. We're giving it back. We're also giving them something for free. Not inexpensive when you think about the magnitude or the quantity of boxes. And then, for those of you who want the product, immediately when it comes in, we are sending it to you. Great, we're getting our $10. But now, guess what? We're getting screwed by the shipping. Not screwed. We are shipping it on us. And shipping is dollars. Like, to ship this, it's probably going to cost like $2 or $3 in order to ship this to somebody. It might be a little bit less than that. But on the scale at which we have to ship in terms of the number of people that want it, like, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money that Tiege Hanley is absorbing. Now, let's think a little bit more from a human resource perspective. all of the customer service team's job and what they've been dealing with is customer service revolving around the serum and all these people. And so, you know, when we normally have, I think it's like a 5 or 6 hour like response time when somebody sends an email or a question to Tiege, like that, like, and that's amazing for the record. But now we got like, it's an absolute nightmare. You know, now the upside is that people aren't canceling. The other upside is that we've got some really good things happening with marketing, right? Marketing, we've got some exciting things that are coming up in terms of like the customization, which is going to be launching soon. Our birthday is coming up, our 5-year birthday. The other thing, we're getting ready to launch like a big like body wash like initiative, promotion, like giveaway thing, which we'll talk about a little bit later as it gets a little bit closer. So there's some really great things happening. The other cool thing is that the ad that you saw in last video is doing well in terms of cold traffic engagement. I think it's like normal ads are like 1% or something like that in terms of like click through. This one is like 8%. So that's huge. Now, the conversion isn't as good as we need it to be in terms of the CPA, how much it costs to actually convert somebody. We have not figured that out. And so we are in the process of, we feel like we have something. People are watching like a lot of it. They're going, they're engaging. The other interesting, hang on. But we're not sure we got the offer right or the landing page. And so we are meeting with our Google rep to say, hey, you know, what do you recommend? How do we tweak this in order to work this? Because it's super high in terms of the people that are watching it, how long they're watching it, and how many people are actually clicking through and engaging with Tiege, which is amazing. That's hard to do. And so it's obviously resonating. The other interesting thing is that we noticed this a little bit after the fact. But since the ad launched and we started spending money, all of a sudden like our Amazon like sales were like really going up, but we didn't correlate the two. And then all of a sudden we thought, wait a second, what did we change? We didn't really change anything. What we think is happening is that as we spend on that ad, people aren't just clicking to go to Tiege Hanley, they're going to Amazon to look and then purchasing there. And so we had some days last week that were like double our normal like Amazon business. You know, if we're normally, just loose numbers, if we're normally doing like $5,000 a day, it went up to like 10,000, like so big. The subscribe and save also, you know, went really high as well. And so we don't know if we can correlate it 100%, but there's a lot of traction and a lot of good things happening. And so this is also exciting. Anyway, guys, so that's kind of like catching up to speed on the cluster F at Tiege Hanley with this product. It's almost going to be resolved soon, or it's soon to be resolved, but still it's really upsetting. It makes me personally so angry that we ran out of product. But you know, when you take the eye off the prize and you like things happen. Anyway, just a little update. Like we said, we share the good, we also share the bad and the reality of owning a business. Speaking of business, you've got some business questions. I'm going to try to get to a few. If you've got a business question, this blog is about being a resource for you. Down below, start it with business question and ask your question. And then next week, I'm going to try and get to more of your business questions. I will also give you an update on the Stubble Buddy launch. That is launching, I believe, maybe by the time you're watching it, it's already launched. It depends on the tech, but I'm going to give you an update on that. I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but it should be cool. I also need to tell you and give you an update about Target, right? I think on a few vlogs ago, I mentioned Target passed on Tiege, which is fine. And honestly, I'm a little bit relieved, if I'm being completely honest, considering we obviously are having some fulfillment issues like internally with our own products and our own customers. To bring on something as massive as that makes me a little bit queasy. And so the fact they passed right now is good. Let us regroup, let us focus on and the other reason why I'm kind of happy is that one of the things that Tiege Hanley has not done amazingly well at is focus in terms of our business. We get distracted a lot of times by shiny objects or different things. And what really we need to do right now, things are going in the right direction. We need to stay laser focused on moving the needle and the business forward, because we're kind of at like an inflection point in terms of where our business goes. It goes here, or it goes here, and we really need to be focused in order to make it go the best and in the right direction, the best that it can and in the right direction. Anyway, Business question, if you've got it, start with business question down below. Now I'm going to get to a few of your business questions. I'm going to try and blast through them. If I miss your question, please copy and paste it in this vlog from last vlog, and I'll try to do a better job. The first business question comes from our friend Patrick Carrasco, who says, what's the name of the redhead in the video? I thought it was funny, so I just needed to mention it. Yeah, right. Yeah, she wouldn't get bombarded by people, right? All right, the next business question. So I can't do that, right? The next business question is from our friend Jeremy Steckler. He says, hi, Alpha. I just graduated college on Sunday with a degree in marketing and entrepreneurship. I currently am at a crossroads with where to go in my business career. I feel like I should get started, get a standard job to pay my bills, but I also feel drawn to starting my own company. Overall, what advice do you have for new business students graduating, navigating their future in this almost post-pandemic world? So this question I love so much, and the reason why I love this question so much is that this is a question that a lot of college grads are going to have to face, or entrepreneurs are going to have to face. What I would recommend is get a job. Get a job, get a regular job. It doesn't have to be your dream job. It just has to be something that you go to, 9 to 5 or whatever it is, and pay your bills. Because you cannot start a company or a business with the added stress of not knowing where you're going to actually make your money in order to pay your bills or to put gas in your car, right? Get a job, get your basic needs met. This is going to allow you the freedom mentally to focus on making a plan of action moving forward. The other cool thing, if you can find something like in the area or something that is going to potentially help you with your other business or the business that you're thinking about doing, this is also another incredible opportunity for you. Get in there, learn. This is a great time where you can have very low responsibility in terms of if you make a decision, it's not going to necessarily bankrupt you or end your career. You can basically work for somebody else, learn everything you can while making a plan of action. But like I said, there is nothing worse than when you have the fear of how do you pay your bills, how do you make enough money just to eat, get those bills covered so that you can have the mental bandwidth and focus in order to move a direction or to, just make a plan. And then when it's time, then execute that plan. But right now, get a job. That is what I would definitely recommend. The next business question comes from, wait for it, Shane Melchud. Shane always brings it strong with questions. This one, he says, for Mrs. Alpha. She's not here, but I'm going to try and answer it for her. Being an entrepreneur doesn't allow for a conventional 9 to 5 schedule. No, it doesn't. When married to an entrepreneur, one may often feel alone or even neglected at times. I may feel like the entrepreneur is so enamored with starting the business that there's little time for family or socializing with friends. Did you ever feel like you were alone as Aaron was starting his business? And if so, how do you and Aaron work through these struggles that you had? So I'm going to answer for her because her and I have talked about this before. When I went through my bankruptcy, what she wanted for me was to get a job, a 9 to 5 job. She's like, stop beating your head against the wall. She was more concerned about security, in terms of financial security for our household. She saw me try, she saw me scrape, she saw me claw, she saw me cry, she saw me fail. She didn't like that, right? My wife is not an entrepreneur by any stretch of the imagination. She is a rock. She is a worker bee. She's an incredibly good worker bee, but she's a worker bee. That's what she wants to do. She wants somebody else to handle the responsibility or the stress associated with actually, owning a business, right? She wants to leave it on Friday. Now, unfortunately, she's upper management, so she doesn't get to leave it. A lot of times she has to work, but the truth is, she doesn't understand the drive or the internal fire that an entrepreneur has. Now, that being said, when I was like, all right, I'm gonna not get a 9 to 5 job, and I honestly looked. I looked for different jobs, but I came to the realization as there aren't many people that will hire a failed entrepreneur, right? Or an entrepreneur in general. I mean, what does your resume look like? I'm a really hard worker, I'm creative, because the truth is, entrepreneurs aren't good employees typically because they're thinking about their own thing, right? And so I knew that I wasn't done. I knew that I needed to do something else. I just didn't know what it was. And so as I started moving down the road of other opportunities or trying other things, I didn't talk about it all that much. I kept it kind of inside because I knew that it was challenging for her when I would get super excited about something and then it would be a letdown. And she would get excited and then she would get let down. And so for me, it was keeping things a little bit closer to the vest. And then as I started to see like little glimmers of hope or excitement or, hey, this is actually working, I would share those. And for her, like I said, it was about, financial stability. And so over the next few years after I filed that bankruptcy, things started to really turn around. For the majority of our relationship up until that point, I was not making like a lot of money. When I had my fitness center, I think I was making $24,000 a year. So I wasn't like killing it by any stretch of the imagination. It was just, she just thinks about things like that. She was at the time making close to $100,000. And so, for our entire relationship, and then it turns out that she lost her job during like I think it was like 2006, 7, or 8, and she started back, through the grind, 30,000, 40,000, working her way back up the pay ladder. And so so back to your question, I've talked and asked her, hey, do you feel neglected? Do you this, do that? Remember, we don't have kids. And so I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been somebody that's like trying to do different things. And she knows that I'm going to work for the rest of my life, right? The things that annoy her are when we go on vacation, I can't relax. I am always like that person that needs to be going. I don't just like hang out and sit on the beach. But at this point, we've been together. We got married in like 2007. We were together like 3 or 4 years before that. So I mean, it's a long time. So she gets me now. And now it's just about enjoying the time together. I mean, we make time for each other. She still works. And she works, we both work super hard during the week, and then weekends we try to take time for each other. But I think she's happy. I think she's really happy, honestly. I think that she can't believe, sort of where we are in terms of, security. It's kind of like a dream, if I'm being honest. It's still kind of like, sometimes I even am like, can you even get like I can't believe this shit. like it's really amazing. I've always believed in myself, but it's awesome once you really, kind of succeed and it's, on a bigger level than you ever dreamed, or you didn't even like, I never allowed myself to kind of like envision. I was so busy just worrying and trying to start something that worked, not necessarily about being like, it wasn't about the money ever. It was about feeling like I'm being successful. I just didn't know what success looked like, and it's changed and evolved over the years. And so to answer your question, I think she's good. I think we have both had struggles throughout our marriage, just through, it being hard and not easy and bankruptcy and being, really bummed out. But we've weathered the storm. She's my partner, she's my love, and she gets me. And so I think when you find somebody that understands that you are an entrepreneur and that's kind of what you're going to do and what you're about. And yes, my businesses are my mistress. That is what I do spend a lot of time and a lot of energy building and worrying about and loving and taking care of and nurturing and trying to get better. But she gets that and she understands. And so for me, for us, it works. For you, it may not. And I really feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, it's a balancing act. I've talked to Antonio about this, and he is not as far along as he would be if he didn't have a family. But are you going to trade fat? No, of course not, right? For us, we don't know what we're missing in terms of children. And so do we miss it? Do we feel like we're missing out on something? No. And so we're kind of like enjoying the ride, and we just we're good. We feel good. And so anyway, that's a long answer to a great question. There's some other questions I'm not going to get to. This vlog is definitely long, but I just want to thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you for understanding. Those of you who are level 3 customers, thank you for your patience as Tiege works out some of its issues. They will be worked out, and this will never ever happen again. Knock on wood, or else somebody's ass is going to be in trouble. Kelly Thornton. Gentlemen, we love you more than a double monk strap shoes, and we will see you next week. If you got a business question, down below, start with business question and ask it. We love you. Later.